Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing another 8-4 Dragons of Tarkir Fate Reforged draft. Open Harbinger of the Hunt, certainly worthy of a first pick. Puts you in a couple colors, but that's okay. One of them is green, which is not only open more often than not, but has a good way to fix for multiple colors. Next strongest pick would have to be the Drowner and the Bowmasters, I would think. Other than that, nothing too crazy good in this pack, but Harbinger is a nice pickup. Okay, follow-up pick is a bit of a unexciting pack. I think we're likely to just take the Outrider. There's also a Dragon Scarred Bear, Hardened Berserker, Kindled Fury on color. Strongest card in the pack is probably the Outrider. So I guess we're doing okay on that front. But yeah, we'll go ahead and take that. Okay. Now what do we got? We got Quartermaster, Warbringer. Warbringer obviously a little bit better in the black-red dash deck. Kolaghan Aspirant, which I love. I think Quartermaster is the best pick here, though. Beastbreaker and Aspirant would be nice as well, but Quartermaster being able to move counters around and being just a 3-mana 3/3 is just really nice. So, guess we're going to go with that. Okay, now we have 4th pick Pacifism. We have a Scion of Ugin, Dragon Hunter, Dragon Fodder in red. Pacifism seems like the strongest card. What am I passing up to take it? I think the next closest pick is Scion, which is fine, but I don't need it. If white is open, which is possible with a 4th pick Pacifism, not 100%, possible, then I think I want to take it. So let's go with Pacifism here. Okay, so we've got Forerunners, which is actually a good card. The only reason I side is I always seem to pass it, and then I play against it, and I'm always impressed with how well it plays. It just seems to play well. But I am a big fan of Survivalist. I think I like the Survivalist more than the Hardened Berserker. And the Scavenger, definitely. So really, it's Forerunners versus Survivalist. Survivalist is good, man. Survivalist is good. Underrated, in my opinion. I think I'm going Survivalist. I do like the Forerunners, too. It's tough. I like the versatility. All right. A bit of a miss here. We can take the Stormsinger, which is playable, not terribly exciting. There is also a Tread Upon, which is a combat trick. Not the biggest Stormsinger fan. I'm never thrilled main decking one. Same goes with Tread Upon, but I feel like I'm more likely to main deck a Tread Upon than a Stormsinger, especially in a deck that could have some high power guys. Not really passing anything of substance here anyway. Alright, so choice now. Kindled Fury, which is a fine combat trick. Servant to the Scale, which works well with Quartermasters and works well with some other bolster cards. Definitely. Kindled Fury is a pretty legit combat trick. I like it more than Tread Upon, I think. Most of the time I like it more than Tread Upon. Dual Lurker, Tactician, Vial. I think I'm going to go Kindled Fury. Servant is a fine pick there as well. Interesting. So we have Scale Blessing, which seems like the strongest card in this pack. There's Ojutai's Breath, pretty late, which is a good card too. I'm going to take the Scale Blessing. Seems like this is a deck that could potentially use it, but not very likely. All right, Dragonloft title, I think we'll just take here. I have one already. I could definitely see some more. I did pass the Sign of Ugin for pacifism, so kind of coming back to haunt me a little bit, but could also end up playing green, white, splash, red. It is possibly happening. That's a very late Spellfist, by the way. I'm going to take the Dragonloft title here. All right. I mean, definitely seems like blue's open. I think I'm going to take the Monument in case I want to splash for blue. Otherwise, I guess a second Kindled Fury is okay too. All right, let's take the red card. I think we're gonna be able. That's a really late Coat with Venom. I don't even like Dunecaster enough to take it here. I think I'm just gonna hate Coat with Venom. Guess I could take Radiant Purge as a sideboard card. Yeah, that might actually be better. I'll take the sideboard card that could pay off. All right, Glaring Aegis. Resupply, sure. Take a Negate. Second to last pick Negate is pretty interesting as well. So I'm definitely trying to make this Harbinger of the Hunt work, and it seems like I am definitely competing. Perhaps our rare we open out of this pack will help guide me to what I should be doing. Narset, geez, I haven't even played this before. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a non-creature, non-land card, reveal it, put it in your hand. When you cast your next... Well, I mean, I'm going to take it, but let me see what it's worth first, too. It's worth like 5 tickets, which pretty much pays for most of a draft, to be honest. Otherwise, Sarkhan's Rage would be a slam dunk pick, I think. This seems like a... It's got a lot of loyalty. It doesn't even seem very good in our deck. I mean, besides the fact that I have to stretch into blue to even make it work. Even if I could, I would need like Sarkhan's Rages basically to make it good, which I guess is possible. All right, we'll consider it. We're a mess right now. We are a mess of a deck. All right, Sandcrafter Mage is pretty good. There's a Sunstriker too. I think I actually like the Sandcrafter Mage more. Thinking about just straight up moving into white and sort of letting the rest of my colors dictate this. But I definitely want the Sandcrafter Mage here, which is a card I just like a lot. I think we could table that green fixer too. Icefall Regent? Getting past an Icefall Regent? This card is so good. Otherwise, another pacifism. I gotta stretch pretty deep into blue to make that work. I mean, I gotta come up with a game plan. If I'm playing Icefall Regent, am I getting rid of 7 cards? That doesn't seem like that's gonna go down well for me. This card is so good. Hard to target and kill, and it permanently locks out a creature, and it's a 4/3 flyer. I mean, getting past one is like at least a clear sign that the person passing to me is not in blue. I think... Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Icefall Regent, and I think the plan is ditch out of red. I think this is the plan to make this work. So then my base colors are probably green-white or white-blue. And then I maybe ditch... I don't know, but I want to make Icefall Regent work. We'll see how greedy this ends up being. I could take the Monument here. It actually seems like a wise idea since it's going to fix for green or white, and it's a dragon. Otherwise, Ojutai summons to go deeper blue? I guess I could do that too. Then maybe I go deeper blue, and then what? I do basically just recreate my deck, and I go white-blue, and I completely ditch out of green-red? Maybe. All right, I'm taking Ojutai summons. Maybe we are going straight up. All right. Maybe we are ditching out of green-red. Jeez. This deck may have just gotten a little bit tricky. I like to make it difficult on myself. All right, we'll take a second Ojutai's Summons. It's still very strong, so happy enough doing that. Territorial Rock just seems like something on color that we want. Gives us a little bit of early protection. This is a bit scary. I mean, we're not in super big danger yet. Bit of a miss here, which is a problem. Could take Resupply with Narset. Rebounding that seems pretty good. Otherwise, I guess. I don't know what else I'm taking. Alright, Tactician's actually, geez, and then a late Survivalist to throw me off. Could take the Anticipate. I'm actually kind of good on 5-drops already. I think I'm taking Anticipate. This seems like a deck that's going to need some help finding things. Alright, now it's Sight Beyond Sight versus Lore Master. I probably want the Lore Master. I've already got double summons, Pacifism, Anticipate, Scale Blessing, Narset. I've got a ton of things I can bring back, and I'm definitely going to need some more creatures. This is probably the latest I've ever audibled into a second color. Alright, now it's Custodian versus Territorial Rock. I mean, Custodian's fine. I think I'm actually going to take the Rock. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Rock. Since it can actually attack. Alright. Faithful it is. Early blocker. Alright, we'll take a Contradict. Sure. This deck needs some help. I don't think we're playing Ancient Carp. Alright. So, I need to find 8 cards out of the next pack. I mean, it's possible. I don't think we're gonna have to go into 3 color, but I definitely, like I said, this is the latest I've ever, well, we've got a Negate, actually. That's definitely main deckable. This is the latest I've ever gone into a completely different game plan. All right, Valorous Stance versus Sandblast. That's kind of interesting. At least we get a good first pick here, and I think we'll wheel something we'll play. But Sandblast versus Valorous Stance is the question. I actually feel like I don't need the Indestructible that much. It does protect Icefall Regent. But I feel like Sandblast is actually going to be more useful for us. I mean, it can target more things. This can take care of bigger threats, but I feel like the indestructibility aspect of Valorous Stance is like less useful in this deck. I mean, it's still useful, but this can just hit earlier things. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think for this deck, though, Sandblast does seem better. Alright. So, choice now. Pretty much just a Ward Scale Dragon, which is fine. We need some more creatures. Not much else. Will of the Naga, but that doesn't even seem all that good in this deck. Alright. Ward Scale Dragon it is. Sandstep Outcast is a great pickup. There's also Soul Summons, which works probably better with Narset. But Sandstep Outcast is a little bit too good to pass up. It just... board clutter. You always want the board clutter. I guess technically we have 10 creatures with the Ojutai's Summons. So we're not doing awful on creatures. Okay. So now we have Jeskai Sage versus Lotus Eye Mystics. Mystics brings back Pacifism. That's about it. Oh, never mind. Sandblast. Overlooked the Sandblast, so we're going to slam dunk that. Scale Blessing's not looking all that sexy in this deck. Alright, we can take a Sage. I mean, there's a huge Stone Retainer here, and we actually do have a fair amount of early game, but I think Sage is probably a little bit more reliable to play. Plus prowess seems pretty useful in this deck right now. I'm going to take the Sage. Hope to table that Skullkeeper. What's our first cut if it comes to it? I need a... Ooh, Dragon Bell Monk's a nice pickup. There's a Blossoming Sands if I wanted to splash for a green card. We do have some decent ones. But let's just try and make this green or blue-white thing work if we can. Dragon Bell Monk's actually good in this deck too, so I'm fine with that pickup. Alright, Lotus Patchin's a nice late pickup too. It's just good. We have 2 dragons still for Dragonloft Idol, so I think we're actually going to keep that around as well. Lotus Patchin, though, yeah, easily getting picked here. Skirmisher doesn't really strike me as a Skirmisher deck. I can't imagine us beating down all that effectively. I mean, we have enough ways to win, which is nice. But... So what do I hate? Probably the Harsh Sustenance. Maybe if I pick up a black-white land, I could realistically play it. We have like 14 creatures with the Ojutai summons, I guess. Return to the Earth I could hate because it's pretty good against us. But I'm going to take the Harsh Sustenance. I mean, Harsh Sustenance is certainly good against us too. Harsh Sustenance is always good if someone's, you know, on color with it. Alright, well... So, good news. Good news is we have a deck. Bad news. We're really late to the party on this one. Oddly enough, we ended up with, like, semi-reasonable looking deck. I guess Resupply, not exactly something I want to be playing. Jeskai Runemark, well, that might just make the deck. Oh, probably not. I mean, we have a fair amount of... I mean, it's awesome on a monk. It can take a game over. And I guess there's nothing else on color, so we'll take it. But yeah, Scale Blessing and Jeskai Runemark and Resupply are all pretty lackluster. I mean, I suppose Scale Blessing is better than Jeskai Runemark in this deck, because I feel like most of our guys fly anyway. But that's not necessarily true. I mean, it's good on a Sage with a white permanent. Could take the Wildenaga. I guess we do. I'm not really interested in a Disdain or Neutralizing Blast when I already have a Negate and a Contradict. I probably play Wildenaga over Resupply. So, okay. Hey, well, we tabled some good cards. So, maybe I just dip out of Runemark now. Soul Summons versus... Well, if I have double Monk, I guess Runemark gets quite a bit better. I feel like Monk's better than Soul Summons in this deck. Alright, well, we have actually... Oddly enough, we ended up with a pretty legitimate looking deck. And I definitely say oddly because how we managed to completely turn our deck around starting pack 2. It's pretty crazy, but we somehow made it work. And we ended up with some pretty powerful cards in Icefall Regent and Narset. I think Narset actually is good in this deck now too. We have quite a few non-creature, non-land cards. None of these cards matter. I'll take this Runemark. So I guess we don't have to main deck Negate. I'm usually okay though with main decking a Negate. Guess I'll take Disdain. Yeah, so I don't have problems playing Negate. But I guess Scale Blessing with our prowess is actually... Well, last pick playable card's cool. But I think we're likely cutting... I think Negate. Scale Blessing with double Dragon Bell Monk, Jeskai Sage, Lotus Patchin. I feel like we have enough support where the instant speed pump effect could be pretty good, actually. But, I mean, other than that, we don't really have a lot of... We really don't have any ways to get +1/+1 counters on our guys. We have Sandcrafter Mage. I feel like Sandstep Outcast, you pretty much always put out the 1/1 Spirit token, so it's hard to even count that. Maybe we do cut Scale Blessing, then. I might prefer Negate to a Scale Blessing combat trick. I mean, there's Contradict, too, but I kind of like Contradict in this deck. Being able to play Ojutai Summons and then leave up Contradict is actually nice. Or leaving up Will of the Naga and Contradict. Or Sandblast and Contradict. Like, our instant speed spells with Contradict are pretty nice. Alright, I think I'm cutting Scale Blessing. Negate's actually good with Prowess, too. Because you, like, do a block, they play their combat trick, you counter it with Negate and pump your Prowess guy. I feel like that's pretty good. So 15 creatures, which is certainly an adequate amount. And yes, once again, I'm counting Ojutai Summons as creatures, which is fine. Narset Transcendent. Got a lot of loyalty on it, so at least interested to see how that card plays. Finishers, we've got Icefall Regent, Word Scale Dragon, Summons, Jin. That's about it. I feel like we have a decent amount of early game, too. It's not like a horrendously low amount of early game. We have a decent amount. Wouldn't mind more, but this will work for now. And we can bring in a Sentry if, you know, they have a bunch of, like, tokens or 2/1s or whatever. Sentry can come in, buy us some time. All right. Yeah, I think this deck came together reasonably well. Probably want to do close to an even split on lands. And yes, I agree. Definitely err towards blue because we have way more double blue than double white. But I want to see both early, so I am going to go 9/8. All right. I mean, not the optimal build of what I could have made it. If I had told myself in the beginning, go blue-white, we would have ended up with a better deck. But considering I was super late, I'm actually kind of satisfied with this deck. I think it came together fairly well. So, all right. Blue-white skies. Here we go.